All right, Dom. That was I don't know what- oh, you got the dog online. Look, we did a lot of lives before. We gonna get back into doing some more lives. This one was fitting for us to do this one, Dom, because we gonna review the big time. I would say big time. What is it? The new documentary for the Diddler.
Yeah.
Surviving Diddy. Hey, hold on. We gotta get this theme in before we discuss this. We gotta do it. There's no other way to start us discussing this, man, until we play our theme music. All right. So Dom, this is the Peacock series, The Making of a Bad Boy. So jump in the comments, y'all. If y'all want to say anything, discuss questions, all that good stuff. We ain't gonna be here that long. We're just gonna discuss it real quick. Dom, what was your thoughts on the documentary as a whole?
It was definitely insightful. It was kind of, I like how this was formatted, where this was, it seemed like they took a little time with this, whereas some of the other documentaries appear to be kind of like a little more rushed. And I like that we kind of had some intel and insight to his upbringing, what life was like for Diddy growing up in Mount Vernon, New York, just outside the city. I think that was kind of the most intriguing part of this documentary. Of course, they have Gene Deal in there, and I have questions for Gene Deal.
Look here, shout out to the great Gene Deal, St. Louis finest.
Because all along, I'm glad they asked the question that I have been, thinking about this entire time we've been unpacking this and following this case. And I think that so guys, you have to watch this on Peacock without giving everything away, but this is a review. They found Sean Combs' childhood friend that used to live with him and his mom back in Mount Vernon. They lived on the first floor of their house. And I think what's really interesting is you could really see the empathy from his homeboy, from Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy is the best friend, the childhood friend.
He humanized him. He humanized him.
And so you got to see him in that human light. You learned that, he went to private school growing up. He was bullied. He was picked on. People would, because he dressed nice. They had money, all these different things. And you saw Timmy really just kind of make him just your everyday person, and was once I went away, I felt like there was a shift. And, he was running with a different crowd, and, insert Gene Deal. And, what was really interesting is we don't talk about how grooming can impact you throughout your life. We're typically used to somebody grooming somebody, like it being a third party, somebody that you don't know, is somebody that you randomly meet. But low key, his mama groomed him unconsciously when you really think about it.
Okay. I mean, I go
because of the environment that they grew up in. Y'all having these parties on the weekend. Timmy said it was, wasn't uncommon for you to walk in a room and it's somebody having sex in whatever room that it was just normal to them.
Yeah.
And so he carried that throughout his life. So on that level, you have a small percentage.
A real small percentage, right?
A really small percentage of empathy toward him because of that.
It was interesting to think about him not having his father around. It was interesting. That was interesting. But at the same time, a lot of us that have our fathers around, And then I mean we go out and do no heinous things.
Yeah, but so I would say definitely he to for me there was a scene where I felt that he was insinuating that Janice was a madam.
I mean, I could see her being a Harlem hustler doing that.
Yeah, so you have this upbringing of whatever, and that leads to like your dad's untimely like demise, and then your mom is trying to figure out how to get it and maybe even keep up with that lifestyle that they were in. So you're doing all of this stuff, and that's what it kind of sounded like. It sounded like they, not that they was in a whorehouse, but that's what it sounded like. I was, at least on the weekends.
Yeah.
And not having your father does not mean, like you said, that I should be out here beating people ass and doing all these different things. But also you see the adverse, like what Diddy did, like is what we see a lot of niggas do. Hop in, you go to this game, though it wasn't like it wasn't like the Bloods of the Crips, but they had their crew, Gene Dillon and that they had, and they didn't even really want him to be a part of it, but then y'all jumped him in. And now you have another layer of foundation that's being laid for the person that we know today.
Yeah.
Because now for me, hearing that from Gene Deal, my question to you is, okay, y'all was cool. You really, but everybody else really wasn't rocking with him like that. Why did, instead of just moving on and just leaving, like, no, we don't want to roll with him or whatever, why did y'all feel like it? Why did you guys feel that it was imperative for y'all to, let him in? A gang for, my understanding is kind of is how you pledge. We gonna allow you, we gonna interview you. Here's the process, and we either jump you in, or or you'll be online, or it's a no for us.
Yeah, but it was more interesting with that. I mean, because that's just any crew of any people. They put you through whatever. A lot of people just put you through hoops to be amongst the friendship. Not necessarily that, but your friendship gets tested up. Like, oh yeah, he cool. It may not be extreme as that, but in some ways like that. My main thing was the idea that Diddy had bred his whole life, like. And it's so funny because he's like, I come from Harlem. It's like, it's weird when you see him talk like he just got it from the mud, and he didn't get it from the mud.
And I'm not knocking for that. Great. Y'all didn't have to struggle. It wasn't like.
No, but he gives off the persona that he got it from the mud.
I was.
Because he always says, I'm a kid from Harlem. He never says Mount Vernon.
We just let him kind of slide by saying, because
But he never says he's from Mount Vernon. If you notice, he never says Mount Vernon, no, Dom. He always says Harlem.
He don't never say that. But that was the whole thing. Like,
but Mount Vernon has its own thing. They say money making Mount Vernon, so he could have said that. Like, it's not like black people didn't live in Mount Vernon.
I think they let that nigga slide, but I was always under the impression, and not that you can. I was always under the impression that because he never talks about any sort of struggle growing up, when you start to peel back those layers, you know what I mean? Like, whereas you got 50 Cent situation, which was because didn't they, like, his mom was dealing and they kill her and then set the house on fire or something. I don't know how true.
Yeah, he went through some tragic stuff with his mother.
Yeah, a lot of tragedy, and like you hear everybody else telling a story where Puffy story wasn't like that, and I think that's a huge a lesson to be learned to everybody too. Life is struggle enough. If you were born into having nice things. Y'all really didn't have any. There's nothing wrong with that. And I know we glamorize the struggle a lot, but shit, if you don't have to, and that wasn't your experience, that just wasn't your experience.
It wasn't your experience. And you know, it's a thing of, and I especially hip hop at that time, I could see why he tried to, you know, mirror that of the struggle. I mean, shoot, his artist had a song called Everyday Struggle, you know. I mean, he just wanted to adapt it because hip hop in general at that time, well, a lot, I would say 80% of hip hop, maybe let's say 70%, because we had Tribe Called Quest, which grew up in the suburbs. You had De La Soul, grew up in Long Island. Shit, Rakim grew up in Long Island. So like, it wasn't like everyone had to be from the hood, but Diddy wanted that respect of the street stuff. Now, if we go through the documentary a little bit, the one of the big, I think they blame him too much for the situation at the basketball thing too much. In general, I've always thought that.
So, okay. Now that was news to me. I never heard about that. I also, like, I'm not significantly younger than you, so stop trying to little girl.
You are. Thank you for everybody. Shout out to Demona, Strictly Business, Risa, everybody. You know, come in, click like wherever y'all coming from. You know, subscribe, all the good stuff. But no, go ahead. You weren't outside. I was outside then. Not outside. I wasn't outside during that time. I was middle school though. When that event.
So that was it. At that time, so if you were middle school, that means I was like elementary school,
yeah,
like first grade. So that wasn't necessarily on my radar. Again, we didn't grow up with having cable in my house, so if nobody was talking about it at school, or
I read it in the Source magazine.
Yeah, so I definitely wasn't reading Source at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was news to me, but even
oh, you didn't know about that incident at all?
No, I never heard that.
I told you, but maybe you just didn't pay attention to what I was talking about.
Maybe I just didn't know.
Did he get away with that? I was talking about all different things he's gotten away with.
Yeah, but I didn't know
that was one of the things I would say.
Yeah, so no. I didn't know the extent of that. Like when you whatever it was, I was like, oh, you know, like, so yes, you did.
Now I do blame him for the way he treated the victims afterwards, but not for what happened at the event. Put it like that.
Sometimes some things are out of your control. Like y'all oversold this event.
I can see that, man, where you just pubbing it and you ain't know it was gonna get this, especially in the early 90s. It's not like, dude, people made their plans, they made their plans. Like it wasn't like we got somewhere else to go. I got this outfit for this one thing. I ain't going nowhere else.
Yeah. So
you didn't have multiple stops back then.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't sound any different than any other event that we still experience today, like a club or whatever. But like they said, y'all didn't have enough security to kind of control the situation, which led to people, you know, getting killed. So the aftermath of that, like, you know, like they said, he ended up paying people a certain amount, but also, you know, and I'm aware a lot of people don't know the resources that are available to them, because you only give me $50,000 and my sister died and y'all was supposed to be cool. You gave her this ticket. So you knew her well enough where it wasn't like, I just saw you on the street. Y'all had some sort of relationship that you couldn't even speak to after I'm questioning you about it. I'm not taking 50 G's. That's cool. I don't want your money. We can go to civil court about it.
Yeah, because they said was it 6 years later, 5, 6 years later, they said he came to him about that. So if you, I was thinking about the timeline. If at that time, Diddy's money may have been funny though. So
no, they said by that time they had been in court about this. Like it was like a whole thing for like 6 years.
Right, but I'm saying if it happened in '92, I'm saying you've been in court for 6 years. '98, well, no, his money was good then, because
that's what he was saying. He had by that time he was entering Sean John, you know.
That's 99 then. It's 99 then, if he said Sean, because Sean John started in 99.
Yeah,
it was fall of 99.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, Diddy was popping then. He had already had one platinum with his solo album. He had a second album that just dropped.
Love Don't, the J-Lo album has dropped.
Yeah.
You produced that. You got
He's
paid.
getting ready to shoot somebody at the club in a few months.
Which is interesting that they didn't talk about that.
I think that should have been a series, kind of like how Surviving R. Kelly was. I think it should have been a series of things.
That's how I felt, because it was so much. I was like, oh, we're not going to talk about it.
It kind of got rushed at the end. It's similar to the new Jerry Springer documentary. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen Jerry.
It seemed like these production budgets are getting like short or smaller or something. Maybe the idea was to do a series, but they didn't get the budget for it. And then like, well, we just got to finish. We got to do something. We got to finish this up.
Yeah.
Because it felt like you needed to maybe get into some more people, or maybe they priming it where it's like, all right, we got one here. Maybe we do one while he's in court and do another one post court. I'm not sure how these individuals pitched it.
But it definitely, I was shocked that it wasn't a series, because it's so much that has happened in the course of, it's been like 30 years, 35 years that, because they said a lot of this stuff goes back to him being at Howard.
Yeah.
So, and then you had like two people on the documentary that were, that wanted to remain anonymous. Now, here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
The person that worked for him that wanted to remain anonymous, that clearly was some sort of videographer.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think it's a videographer. I think he's just taking shit with his phone.
Oh, you think it was just his phone?
Because he said, I just brought up my camera to try to calm him down. Like, I'm just wondering.
I thought that meant like,
you know what? No, you're right. Because if he brought a big camera, that will calm you down, because you ain't gonna be trying to wild out on camera. Yeah. It's different with a camera phone. You're right.
So that's what I was like, you don't think they would know who this is?
But then why would a big old camera be in the middle of the party though?
You could be kind of similar to how, think about not 30 for 30. What's the Michael Jordan documentary? Whatever it was.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance. So that had been recorded throughout his career. Beyonce has cameras a lot of times, like depending on what's happening.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be like low key stuff. He was trying, like that red party. Like, remember he said something about like if the party they would keep the lights red.
Yeah, and it was like actual footage. But but he's saying I'm pretty sure it was. I don't know, because in that scene where they were outside and he was walking outside and yelling something, he said something about this art. Like, it was already somebody else in that scene with like a camera. So I don't know, but I also was just like, regardless, I'm like, you don't think that they would know that this was you?
And it was one of the things that I picked up in there, and this is on a musical hip hop tip, so take a journey with me here with this. And I always joke about like how Diddy is part of the reason that hip hop is in a fucked up place now in general. Mm-hmm. But it's also he also put fun into hip hop too. So I'm giving him credit for that as well, because he did take like events and parties and entertainment to another level with it. But it also, and they talk about in a documentary, I've always said, and I was like, dang, somebody else picked up. He brought that luxurious shit to hip hop that didn't need it, like necessarily, because the music was the music. Like, then you start seeing people like, well, if you ain't got no Bentley, you ain't no good artist. You ain't taking a girl to Saint-Tropez, like all that, like that glitz and glamour aspect.
Okay, but continue.
You said, I'm sorry?
I said Saint-Tropez, but continue.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm a nigga that ain't never gonna go. I'll take that back. I'm never not gonna go. I'm I go all kind of places, and I will say the name wrong and be up in there. My whole thing is being thugs in Ithaca. So like, I just want to be a fish out of water in Yo's pond. Whole nother thing. But I'm saying, but the idea, and this is a whole nother thing as well, when we talk about just opulence, I think in general in life, is we only saw opulence before on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Mm-hmm. We didn't see that stuff until Diddy and even Jay, and even some of those people where you like, oh, this is whole. I only thought that you had to be, in Monaco with I forgot, it's not Regis Philbin. I forgot the guy's name, but you had to be with him to get that lifestyle, to get that. Now you like, it's the regular dude from Harlem that's doing that. Oh, I can do that, but I can't be dope in music unless I'm doing it like that. I can't be dope and successful as a black man unless I'm doing it like that. And that's the aspect I'm talking about, because even if you go back even farther, and I'm gonna land this plane here in a second, getting a booth comes from Diddy. The idea, the whole booth thing that people pissed off about, the Big Papa video is done in this place called Bentley's. Is the notorious club in New York. They barely let black people in, but Diddy had a hookup, and like they were on some like Bentley's was so exclusive. It didn't matter if you had money. If they didn't want to let you in by the way you looked, didn't matter how much money it was, you wouldn't get into Bentley's. So the Big Papa video, on like off nights, they would let black folks do their thing in it. And that's the Big Papa video is in Bentley's. And they only had 1 or 2 tables where you could get champagne. And that was like it wasn't even a booth, it's just a regular table. If you look in there, it's a regular table. It's not no extension thing. But then other clubs, and he brought up the idea of like, why don't we make the booth extravagant? And then people just kept building on it from there and there. It was that extravagance of living. And you got to think about it. If you were a big time dope dealer in the 80s, early 90s, you didn't get to see extravagance. Your best thing was to be buying out the bar at the little hood bar. Now you downtown trying to get up in Bentley's to get you a booth and the Cristal champagne. I'm just saying those.
I think they're still open.
Bentley's in New York?
Yeah, it just looked like it doesn't come across like it's closed. It has the address.
But and the thing is though is
Bentley's is in Brooklyn.
Oh no, it's open. Yeah, it's still open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. Is this this is it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's you know what? This might not be the original though.
Okay.
I thought the original one was downtown, I thought. Was in Manhattan, not in Brooklyn.
Okay.
40th and Madison is on. So the original one was on 40th and Madison.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the Shadow nightclub is now. It says the legendary Bentley's on 40th and Madison, where it all began.
Okay.
Where the NYC nightlife history was made. Okay. Stephen Giuliano made, it was on 40th and Madison, which is Midtown. Okay. Somebody else was trying to capitalize off the name Bentley's on that Brooklyn one. Because I thought it was closed. But I'm just saying, we never got to see that extravagances in our community. And there's nothing wrong. We did. There's no problem with that. It's just that maybe he wasn't the right guy to do it.
You know, I can't get mad at it because
he did some dope things like the whole white party idea, like the taking events and parties to another level. That's you got to get.
I mean, he learned from his mama, so he gonna entertain you.
Yeah,
you gonna have a.
And the brothers in DC took their own love. They took parties to another level too. I want to give them their props when we talk about that too.
Yeah, you definitely for sure. Like I said. It was all around just interesting. Like I think I'm kind of like his patterns and his behaviors. Like once he rose to fame and all that stuff, that is atypical behavior of somebody that was like a bully or whatever. So that behavior isn't shocking to me. It's fucked up, but not shocking just based on what we learned through like psychology or whatever and like those patterns. I think I'm just stuck on on his homeboy because the interesting thing even about Tim.
Which one? Tim?
Yeah, Tim. So the interesting thing about him is just like after he comes home from the service and all this stuff, like Puffy hook him up with a job.
Yeah, he will start working for Uptown with him.
Yeah, you at Uptown, you got plaques and all of that stuff, and it's just like you ain't forget where you came from. You looking out for me, but when they ask him, like why do you have your plaques? Like he pretty much has like a hidden room in his house, and he's just like this represents a time in my life. I was like 25, getting my first plaque or whatever. And then he goes on to reference that these reference like remind me of like a period like so much loss.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, between that and then even it's the relationship with Gene Deal, you know, like because we know Puffy's history, his pattern. So you were clearly afraid of Gene Deal. And
Yes.
then you were afraid that if you did something to Gene, they know to come look for you. So which is how, you know, he was able, he's I've been speaking on
And
this.
Gene's a big dude though, too. Gene's a big dude.
Well, we can see that.
Because all them pictures, he towering over everybody.
Everybody. Like you're not just burly, you like in height, you burly and width.
Yeah.
But also you
He's also a Q too, which is hilarious.
oh now that's really hilarious. But you know, I think the other interesting aspect of Gene Deal is you know, he's very vocal. I've been speaking about this since he pretty much like walked away since like 97 or whatever. But
no, he didn't walk away till 05.
I mean, well, whenever he left, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because his mom and his mama got into it.
It's interesting how okay, y'all say that he was Puffy bodyguard. Okay, cool. And then the fallout is about Janice kind of bossing him around. So I quit after that, you know, that last incident of her asking me to go get some food out her car. And I'm supposed to be watching, you know, looking after your son. Like, I'm like, but you making this sound like y'all was like in executive like offices. This is how this conversation sounds to me. You can go down there, your Midwest ass, and get that damn food. Who was getting up there?
But we don't know. He might have been tired of her shit though too.
That's what he said. Why you always bossing me around when I am security? Which ultimately is why he quit.
Yeah. And the one of the drawbacks with I feel like it was too short. We needed more in time. And one of the things I think that also, and we can get into that in a second, is I'll be sure. Mm-hmm. But I also think that this kind of didn't need to be done until after this trial, because it feels like a lot of information couldn't come out and be talked about. At least trying to get him to go. They're trying to get R. Kelly to be able to go to trial. And the fact that Diddy's getting ready to be on trial, I think it's a difference between like Surviving R. Kelly and this doc, is what I'm saying. Like, they were trying to set up stuff for R. Kelly to be able to get put on trial. This one is already going on, so why are we, what can we say?
I think it's interesting because like you walk away conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
And they put that out. I don't know if it is something to sway the grand jury. For me, if this is impressionable, this could be impressionable for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And even if you cut every other part out and you just simply use Tim's testimony, you might be fucked up like, damn, I don't know what to do, because I know at the end of the day, this person had all this stuff happen to them and they are reactive to their trauma. They are reacting on that.
I mean, I wonder if we look at it from this area. What did we want to see from this? Like, I have to ask myself that question too. Like, I mean, we be pretty extensive into looking into this stuff. So like, you didn't know about the gym thing, but in general, most of that stuff we've talked about, for the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I will say this.
I don't know that childhood to like college, that college time right before he went to not bad boy.
That's why I agree with you. That's why I believe it should have been a series to kind of spend more time on that. Hopefully somebody has the opportunity to do it. I thought what I found really interesting is Gene's statement about the whole thing with Biggie. Because him saying Biggie said that was telling everybody that entire week he was going to London.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Puffy to be like, well, he's not going to London. And he's like, he said it multiple times, but Biggie kept telling people that he was going to London. Y'all didn't have it scheduled for y'all to go to that party. We don't. And then the other part where that was interesting was him saying, we don't have security for that. But I'm like, nigga, you the bodyguard. Y'all do got security.
Yeah, but he was talking about like thinking about they need to be deeper.
So yes. But that was interesting to me. And knowing that Biggie wanted to leave Bad Boy, like he was over it. He wanted to, like move on with his life. And then you end up dead. And he said the whole week he was uneasy and acting weird.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have liked to explore that a little more. And maybe they did, but they cut it out. But I when they said that, do you think that Puffy is responsible? He's like, I mean, I'm not directly saying it, but it's just kind of how you similarly, like how you describe what happened with Pac. You saying this got this person killed simply because of some bullshit you said.
Right. And you could be the impetus of, I don't think directly want to have Biggie killed, but he made dumbass decisions that have got him killed. Yes, I believe so.
I don't think those bullets were necessarily meant for Biggie. I think they might have been meant for Puff.
No. Suge is the sinister dude. He wanted him to feel how it felt when his boy got killed by Wolf. He wanted to Puffy to feel that. It's one of those things that, like, I want somebody to feel the way I felt.
So okay, so you still think that Suge
100%
is the culprit for?
I'm 95% sure.
Okay.
At this point, I mean, they got the shooter. They've already got the shooter. He's dead though.
Plot twist. What if? No, I mean, because I was gonna say maybe somebody. I'm thinking maybe tipped him off because that would just be too coincidental.
Yeah, no, I think Suge just on some grimy shit.
So okay, so no. Okay, so for them, because he got killed outside of the Peterson Automotive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They stay at the Beverly. Were they at the Beverly Hills Hotel?
Was it the Montreal?
No. Okay, what, the Mondrian?
Montreal, yeah.
No, I thought they said they stayed at whatever it was. It looked like they was off Wilshire. It almost kind of looked like when they showed it, because they showed the Beverly Hills Hotel. They said that's where Puffy had attacked Homegirl another time. That's what the makeup artist said. So that's off of Sunset.
Right. So you think it's the same? Oh, you said when he?
No. I'm trying to think about proximity. So if you left that award show, that meant somebody had to either follow them from the award show to know where they were, or somebody potentially on staff, which we hear about all the time, could have tipped somebody off to tell them that they had left and to follow them out.
Oh, that's 100% what happened. I guarantee it was somebody that was at the party that was just there planning, like, hey, they leaving.
Yeah, they wasn't. I thought they were going to the party, not leaving the party.
No, they leaving the party. They were so you can see the video of them at the party online. You can watch the actual party online.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it's funny, and you realize this party wasn't even popping like that. Like you see, like I'm talking about, it's not as crazy as you think it would be.
Because that's the other part. Because like,
it was not even a popping party.
And maybe it was it might have been also early in award shows. People bounce around in so many different parties. But
this was the official one, I thought. This was the official vibe party.
That's what I'm saying. So that probably would not pop until later. Or it could potentially pop early. I'm just thinking about how it goes for Grammy weekend and like BET weekend. Like there is an official after party, but then people kind of sprawl out or go to that place later.
Yeah, it's one of those. With that one, Suge was just one to make, because you got to think, if you're Suge, Diddy in general is 2-0 up on you. He had his boy got into it with Wolf in Atlanta at the Jermaine Dupri party, killed him. That was like Suge's homeboy he grew up with. And then you get my boy and my artist killed the second time. So you up 2-0 on me. You gotta feel this, Diddy. I don't want you to die. I want you to watch your artist go down. And one of the things you gotta give Diddy credit for, or maybe the cunningness of him, I wouldn't necessarily credit. I'm almost feeling Suge thought that Bad Boy was going to be over when Big passed. He didn't understand. He didn't know that Puffy was going to kick in on his solo shit and be able to make himself just as bigger. I don't think Suge didn't account for that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
For that was going to be that big. That he was going to be able to flip it without mentioning you with the police and all this shit that made himself bigger than the world, you know.
I don't know. Like, it's just really, because like when you hear Gene Deal's perspective, it just makes your mind kind of like, you know, like that's
like,
really
interesting.
It's really, I'm like, what did you mean that? Like because you telling me this nigga is telling people, oh, this is what my calendar is. I'm going to London, and then you got Puck. That nigga not going to London. You know, like
he ain't going to motherfucking London for them. He got photo shoots to do. He got a whole bunch of stuff to do. We got to do the video.
And it's just weird.
Yeah, but like, and low key, man, like, I wonder. We know Diddy was on some dastardly stuff, but he has went through a lot of tragedy though, and maybe that made him more emboldened to being that person, and thinking about, all right, my dad passed when I was young. I ain't never met him. I mean, he didn't, like, he was like 1 or 2 or something. My dad, then, you know, you got the situation with the gym thing, which like I said, I don't think it was necessarily his fault. That's weighing on you. And I'm cutting up some bail here, y'all, for one time. Just one time. Biggie dies, you know. I forgot. He had some other partner that got killed, because even Tim talked about it. That someone else, he didn't name the person who said somebody shot in the head. That was one of the other partners. I forgot the guy's name. Yeah. But maybe, and I mean, I'm shooting him a little bit of bail. Like, man, he just been through so much. He just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah. Like,
no matter what it is, I'm just gonna do what the fuck I want to do. Because a lot of my homeboys ain't here, type feel.
Yeah.
Not, and I'm not condoning anything he's doing, y'all. Before y'all get the sins, I'm saying that
my problem with stuff like that is understanding. It's the same thing I say about, you know, Kanye. Mm-hmm. Y'all have money and y'all have access to go to therapy where you ain't got to worry about how much it costs. You know what I mean?
And you get the best ones too.
Like, I think about stuff like that, you know, wishing, you know, like, how the hoops that we have to go through as the working class just to sort out what's going on in our mind. Sealed information said, "Don't cut City no baby."
City, what is City?
I think he was just. I thought it was like a fun name, like maybe, you know.
I like City. 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 Hey, steal information city. I like that. You're a trooper, man.
But I think it's interesting. I wish they could have like him saying that, like I said about Biggie, was so crazy to me. And him even saying we don't have enough, like you're gonna get us killed, like somebody gonna die tonight. And it was like
That's the crucial part right there.
And he just didn't give a fuck. And it was like, yeah, I know somebody's gonna die tonight, but it ain't gonna be me. And like his response, he said, and when you see that car, how that car was shot up, he was like, all I could say was, keep him. Oh, he said he meant Diddy, but he typed fast. They typed fast. But
it's too late. It's too late. Steal information.
Yeah, we like that. But his response to him was so cold. To Gene's response to Diddy was so cold, saying, we need to pray. He's like, for what? That nigga dead. And it's just like how he said it, like it was an undertone there where it was like, this your fault, nigga.
You're right. Why you praying for this shit now?
So I don't know. I can't even explain it, and even sometimes. Okay, so I said this when we were talking about the fires, because I want to switch gears a little bit. And then we can kind of phase out.
Oh, so no, we got to do I'll Be Sure. We still got to do I'll Be Sure too.
I'm headed there, so that's why.
Do your thing. You got it. You go ahead, co-pilot. Take it over.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears a little bit, just simply because a lot of times when things happen that are unexplainable and don't make sense to us, we look to people to blame. We look for somebody to blame. We're experiencing that out here right now with the fires, right? And with I'll Be Sure, you can tell that he still loved Kim, that he still loves Kim, even in her demise, like her death, he still loves her, how he lights up when he speaks about her. That's why you treat people right. I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. I'm hearing this, like there was infidelity and things that took place. You're a big star or whatever.
And I'll Be Sure 88, 89, 90 was par for the course. He was like, it was him and Bobby Brown was like the two top like solo R&B.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm not negating that, but also you gotta control your little man.
You do.
And so, if you have these feelings toward this person and y'all not having a conversation and you just kind of out doing whatever, people get tired of that. But also, this is no shade to Mr. I'll Be Sure, because he's still very handsome, even as he's getting older. We talked about this before. It's I'll Be Sure money and then it's Puffy money. And
I'll Be Sure money get you a house in Mount Vernon.
Yeah. and Kim probably stayed and put up with a lot of that Puffy shit for as long as she did, because
she's at St. Chopin's, like we just said earlier.
Yeah, it afforded her a certain lifestyle.
Yes.
And ultimately, you have to sit with why this person was no longer with you. And I think I mean, he clearly has a lot of things that's in like litigation or something where he could not speak about it because of whatever cases. But you also had pre-existing conditions, and I'm not taking nothing from you at all. You were supposed to be here. That's just what it is. It was not your time to go. But you had a surgery that had, like could trickle into other things which you were aware of. Um, and from what I know about Andre, when Andre died, guys, if you remember, it was during COVID.
Wasn't he outside like a whole bunch,
He
like
was
during
outside
COVID?
a lot. He was outside a lot.
Like he was kicking it, like it wasn't COVID, I thought.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, I heard he was outside like kicking it.
Yeah. So, and not to say, but we didn't know.
And them using Jaguar Right Dom as a credible source that's what I was like, really?
Y'all lost me there.
They lost me there. They like, hold on, we're gonna use her as a source.
Now, like, just like we talked about Chris Brown's case yesterday, these documents, like just as many people that they have their faces blurred out. I don't think y'all should have been showing the likeness of Beyonce, Jay-Z, Leonardo DiCaprio, all these different people that have been in the same spaces and that have gone to his, like events. I believe that could be a little damaging and y'all could get in a little trouble about that. Because y'all using people's image without permission. Photographs and stuff get really tricky. But as many pictures that are out there, because it was one, and I kid you not, I swear in a picture at one of the parties, based on the build and how the hair was, it was Kim and y'all blur her face out. So I'm like, y'all just got to be careful with that shit, man. Like it's, I don't know. And I will say this, the other interesting thing too, when they asked it, the guys, have you seen, like, were you around like the drugs or other things? And they was like, I mean, I seen weed. I mean, people pop pills. Like, like they couldn't speak to it. So I still can respect the fact that even in this, y'all are being, and I'm not gonna say y'all being interrogated, but people are asking y'all this information about y'all boy, and y'all still kind of, I'm gonna keep it cute. I never saw this. This is my experience. This is what I know. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's why I'm saying could be impressionable on that grand jury.
Yeah. I'm interested in what he was saying in the one scene. I'll be sure when he was like, "Hey, I got a list." Yeah, not yet a list. And there was another part. He was like, "I can't really even talk about that because it's the ongoing case." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Now there's a 15% of part of me that I'll be sure been waiting for a chance to get this nigga back, and this is his opportunity. There's a 15% of part of me that's like, it's some of this cap, but he's taking the opportunity to piss on Puffy right now. Why he down?
Yeah, and I'm interested. A lot of us knew that Puffy never officially like adopted Quincy.
No.
And so it's weird. So, and all of us knowing that, a lot of us was like, that's not, when people are confused, I just be like, how? Like, Google is right there.
Google is right there.
Google is literally right there where y'all can confirm the information. You can pull, these documents up, but it gives this illusion. I almost said something. It's a line from Housewives that it was a scheme that Todd created.
I haven't watched it, but I know who Todd is, so I'm assuming.
So it's this Nene talking about. The mama said, because they hated Todd. They hate Todd anyway. But when you start to get the ins and outs, and like how he said, it was calculated for them to say, like, PR for him to make it seem like Albie Shore was like this deadbeat ass nigga that didn't want his kid, where he was with Kim. You know, like the entire time, and then you from there, you kind of just with Puffy and his kids all the day. Like they were never married, so these are just literally, you know how we do, like your play brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess
So
technically, the only one that wouldn't be of kin to him would be Justin, because the twins and Christian would be his half sibling.
mm-hmm.
But
He hangs out with Christian a lot though.
yeah, he hang out. I mean, yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
not Christian, Justin too.
they will be closer in age. Like
Yeah.
Justin is older.
No.
No,
Quincy's older than
well,
Justin.
yeah, Quincy is older than Justin. So they only.
Yeah, you gotta remember. You gotta remember. He didn't have Justin till later on because
he had
Jodeci
Justin in
already
the 90s.
popped.
He had Justin in the 90s. So
Yeah.
Quincy is what, early
He got to be
90s.
born around 91, 92.
Yeah. So I think
Justin might be around 94.
Yeah.
I feel like 94.
That's what I was like. They're closer in age.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just I'm interested, you know.
So, what did you think about Sarah from the band? That's one more person we didn't talk about.
I could see how that could have happened. It was like she said, it was one of those rare moments, because she was always, her nigga was always around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you was around with the other people in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wasn't alone with him. And when you want to be on and popping, people sometimes you'll drop your morals and be like you said, like them walking to Junior's.
8 hours walk. 8-hour walk, yo.
I heard that was like an exaggeration, though. They said because it's like not too long ago, somebody kind of debunked how long it was, because from where they were, it really wasn't that long.
I mean, they had to walk the whole Brooklyn Bridge. That's at least a mile just walking across the Brooklyn Bridge.
So that was the whole thing. It was only supposed to be like, I think it really ended up being like a mile, like 2 miles. Like it was something that wasn't like ridiculous as how they made it. And then he said, walk to get it.
She exaggerated. It says it was 3 hours total. I'm looking here. It says 3 hours total.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it wasn't that long. And then I think the thing is that somebody, like, you didn't have to. He's like, I told you to walk to get it. I ain't say you had to walk to bring it back. Yeah. I remember they ended up debunking that part of it. Because, you know, it's reality TV, so you're making it seem exaggerated. Because why would you, like, in real, like, why would you want the cheesecake now if that 8 hours don't make sense?
Yeah, saying here it was 3 hours each way. So I mean, she's exaggerating the 8 hours.
Yeah, I thought somebody got in the cab.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah, it ended up not being as bad. I think it might have.
That is what you should have done, though. One person in the cab.
I don't think it ended. In reality, I don't even think it was that long, because I think based on where his office was to Junior's, it really wasn't that far. Because that's always just been the question. But anyway, I think it. I mean, until otherwise, I could believe that happened to Sarah.
Yeah.
Definitely believe something happened with Dawn, because based on the interaction, like when they would even show clips, how she was speaking and how he would look, but how they were sitting. But also, like, and here's the thing, people forget that low key, for real, Aubrey O'Day can be mad about the demise of Danny Kane, and all of them, rightfully so. But let's not forget, like, you wasn't out there frolicking with that nigga after he broke y'all group up.
Tomorrow, Dawn.
No, Aubrey, the white girl.
Oh, she was. Oh, that's right. Because she thought she was going to go solo for a second, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because I remember they went to like Sundance or something, and she's like in the back of a photo with Puffy. But it's like a group of people, but she like in the back, and I was just like, huh, that's interesting. But she the main one that's outspoken. So he promised you something. You probably fucked on him a little bit, and your dream didn't come true. And because that happens.
Yeah. What do you give it overall? What do you give this documentary overall, Don?
It was good. I'm gonna give it like a 7.5 because I wish it was longer. I wish it was a series. It was so many interesting touch points that were not expanded upon. So I'm gonna give it like a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. The Jaguar ride knocked it down a half a point itself, just because they was using her as a credible resource for a documentary. It was just like, okay, y'all really just productive. Or I'm wondering if they could get a whole bunch of people to talk. So they just like, hey, let's just use some of this Jaguar ride footage.
And I think people probably still a little, apprehensive to say.
Some people don't want to get jammed up and get brought into court either. Like, even though I mean, I didn't know, I just don't want to go. I'm not scared of them.
He said that guy had got that subpoena.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, the last thing as we wrap up, that one case with the young lady that was the scene and like this. How are you hanging out with these random white people doing nefarious stuff? Why? Like this is like what? These are your co-conspirators.
Why?
Look, why?
That was good.
Just why?
Nigga,
but Don, where can people hit you up at?
Y'all see me here live. Subscribe to my YouTube, Instagram, St. Angela's, TikTok while it's still a thing. Same thing.
Why, John? Why? I sat there and paused and I was like, hold on. I thought maybe he was Hispanic at first or something. I had to like relook. It was like, nah, just a regular white dude from Pasadena.
Yep.
And a regular white girl he brought on as his like top chief of staff. Just regular, nothing special, just hanging out with some God Diddy. Yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. We appreciate y'all coming in for the live. We're gonna do more. We'll see y'all. Peace.